Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. My name is Bernadette Desir, and I'm your host. And joining me today is special guest Kadin. How are you?
I'm well, Brendan. How are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. I'm doing okay. Getting over a cold, but I'm doing okay. Yeah. Can you tell us where in the world are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from Kent, Ohio, Kent State University to be exact.
Oh, nice. Is it hot there? What's the weather like there?
Hmm. Well, oh, it's complicated. Yesterday it was beautiful outside, and today
Yeah.
it's snowing a little bit.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it's been snowing here too. Yeah. So, Kaden, welcome to the podcast. Obviously, for those who don't know you, I don't know you. Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
Sir, I'm an advocate for autism awareness across the country. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2 years old, and throughout my life, I've had various naysayers tell me that I was incapable of living a normal life. But thanks to my parents' support and the resources I got, I was able to prove them wrong, and I'm now a college student who has accomplished a lot in his life.
Mhm.
The advocacy began freshman year when I was at Lake Erie College for a class project. And from there, it just grew. Last year alone, I was able to raise a good $1,300 for some autism organizations. Speak at my local city council meeting in support of autism awareness. And I organized a toy drive this past Christmas for some special needs families in my community.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. I'm so honored to be talking to you because it does sound like you've inspired so many people that does need to hear, from experience what it's like to have autism. So you said you've been diagnosed very young. What was your childhood like being diagnosed with autism so young?
That's a good question, Bernadette. Well, uh, it was complicated for my family. My dad was in my corner pretty much my entire life. Same with my mom. They really pushed me into getting the resources I needed and
Mhm.
accomplishing so much. He started out with a special needs school when I was younger to learn how to talk and how to get used to school, if you will. Oh,
Mhm.
and then I was mainstreamed in the first grade, and it all went from there. Going to middle school, it was complicated. Seventh grade to eighth grade, all my services were cut off by Blackman Middle School because I didn't act autistic.
Mhm.
And my parents were mad about that, like extremely mad. They talked about it during my IEP meeting, and the principal told my parents to their face, "Why don't you just put them in a robotics program?" And that got them mad. They messaged various autism organizations in Tennessee, which is where we were living at the time. And they actually messaged a senator to investigate black metal. So, looking
Mhm.
back at it now, I think how and why would you say that to the parents of an autistic preteen, if you will?
Mhm.
Then high school, that teenage angst combined with autism resulted in some pretty chaotic things, which I can't say because for no, but my parents still pushed me. I still accomplished so much. Then COVID hit. I had to switch online. At first, I didn't like it, but
Mhm.
the more it prolonged, if you will, the more I got into it. And I was actually able to graduate early in 2022.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Um, it sounded like you weren't believed, when they were told, what's happening. Do you wish that there were more resources to help you at school?
Absolutely, ma'am.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Not just for me, for all kids with autism. Schools aren't doing enough. Governments don't take this seriously enough, and I really don't get it. I really don't.
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I have a 6-year-old and he is diagnosed with autism and his speech is delayed, and I understand him. Not everyone does, but you're right. There could be more resources, more could be done. And also, I think when people with any type of disabilities speak, they should be heard and respected for what they're saying and experiencing.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so did you go to see lots of different doctors? Who diagnosed you specifically?
I don't know the name of the exact doctor, but I believe that it was a doctor in Kingston, maybe Salem, where I lived out when I was 2 years old for the first 5 years of my life. But I'd have to verify with my parents. But throughout my life, I've had various therapies: occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy,
Mhm.
ABA, my parents even put me into a autism feeder program that the University of Vanderbilt put on when I was 11.
Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing. What are some of the other challenges that you've had to overcome?
Hmm, Mainly the social stuff, making friends, maintaining relationships, understanding social cues like facial expressions is pretty
Mhm.
hard for me.
Can you tell me more? If someone's speaking, do they have to use a specific words or action or?
Mm, No, no, no. No, the big thing is I take things literally.
Mm,
I actually have a very funny story about that.
yeah.
When I was in sixth grade, my stepmom told me, "Take the trash with you," and I literally took the trash all the way with me to school and took it out. What she meant was take the trash out on the way to the bus stop.
Yeah. Oh, okay, okay, that makes sense. Yes, yes. Um, yeah, it's saying exactly what needs to be done, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. If she said it today, would you understand to not
Yes,
take
I
it
would.
with you? Okay, okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah. Tell me more about the advocacy work that you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, the advocacy started with a class project my freshman year of college in December 2022. The assignment was to think of a way to help the community and act upon it with the group. I took it one step further. I wanted to help the world, if you will. So, my group and I set up a GoFundMe for Autism Society of America with a goal of $1,000 towards that organization. We had $1,085 at the time of this, and I promoted the heck out of we actually ended up winning best project in the freshman class that year when they did a conference showcasing all the other projects.
Mhm,
And then from there, it led to speaking opportunities, me making connections, me being able to set up a fundraiser for my birthday, two of them actually, for
mhm,
the Lake County Special Needs Birthday Club
mhm,
and the aforementioned Christmas toy right for special needs families. So we were able to help four families with special needs kids have
mhm,
the perfect Christmas with these disabilities ranging from autism to Down
mhm,
syndrome.
mhm. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah. How would you say you work in groups or teams, especially with school?
Mm, Historically, not so well. I'm actually working on a group project right now, and it's tough to let go of that ego. I have I have a bit of an ego when it comes to group work. Like everything has to go my way. He used to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and it leads to a lot of tension. But I'm working on it.
That's good. It's a work in progress. Yeah. Um, yeah, yeah, I think it's important to keep learning how to work in groups. I have to keep learning to do that too, because like you mentioned, the ego, it can be so stubborn sometimes in all of us. We don't always know when to say, okay, I'll stop and I'll listen from someone else. So that's good. What are some lessons that you've learned from other people in your life?
Hmm. That's a great question. I've learned a bunch. The big one I learned from my dad is you can make all the money in the world, but if you're not doing something you're passionate about, you'll never ever be happy. That influenced me to switch my major from technology to public relations so I can work in the music industry.
Oh, no way. That's so cool. Tell us more. Do you play music or what is it?
Yeah, I play music. I play guitar. I've recorded a couple of songs for my YouTube channel, which I'll send you
Yes.
after this is over.
Hmm.
But throughout my life, music's been a major part of that and something I've been deeply passionate about. So I figured public relations and business would be the most logical way to go into the music industry.
Yeah, that's really cool. Um, have you been recognized with the work that you're doing by people in the country and in the US and community?
Uh, as a matter of fact, I got an award for my work for at Lake Erie College, the Rising Freshman Award for that, and I'm actually expecting a letter from Senator Sarah Brown next week in recognition of my accomplishments.
Oh, wow. Who is she?
It- he he's
Oh, it's a
one
he.
of the
Sorry.
yeah, that's all right. He's I don't know much about him, but as far as I know, he's an Ohio senator. And his assistant called me and said that her brother has high functioning autism and that she was deeply touched by my story.
Mm. See, that's inspiring. Can you guess where I am?
Hmm, Well, you said you're in a mountain time zone, so I would assume Washington or Oregon, somewhere along those
No,
lines.
I'm in Canada.
Oh,
Yes, yes. So you're inspiring me all the way from Canada across the border.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for that. That means a
You're
lot.
welcome. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Let's talk a little bit on how society sees people with disabilities. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts?
That's a great question. And I think as this generation grows, we're becoming more inclusive of everybody,
Hmm.
especially those with disabilities. But I think we have an awful long way to go. People are still treating others with disrespect
Yes.
act in society. I just read a news story the other day about someone with Down syndrome being mugged by two teenagers in Australia. So that tells me everything I need to know about that. And in
Mhm.
that sentence, but I think we're progressing, but there's other ways to do it without making big things like DEIs and all
Mhm.
that. We should include everyone regardless.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. You probably won't be able to tell, but I do have mental health diagnosis. That's the power of how certain disabilities can be invisible. Right. But I agree
Right.
we should continue to advocate and include everybody because it can happen to any of us at any time. So when we embrace each other where we are, that's when the journey begins of, of growth and progress.
I absolutely agree.
Hmm. Um, let's talk about the media. Media and social media. You know what people are seeing on TV and what's being posted on social media when it comes to those with special needs. What are your thoughts on that?
That's a great question, Jen. Same thing as society. I think we're becoming more inclusive. I think we're advocating more on social media than ever before, which I love to see, but we still
Mhm.
have an awful long way to go.
Yeah.
If social media platforms were to implement stricter cyberbullying policies and
Mhm.
maybe Twitter wouldn't be so chaotic every day.
Yeah.
and and as it comes to the media, like television, music, movies, there's definitely a long way to go with that. But
Mhm.
one show that got it right was The Good Doctor. if you've seen that. I read some of the scripts, and it looks like a really good show.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So what do you enjoy doing for fun, Kaden?
Mm, Mainly listening to music,
Mhm.
music and playing music and doing YouTube.
Mhm.
I haven't had that much time as I used to because the schoolwork has been piling up, especially as I
Yeah,
progress. But
yeah.
those are the main things.
Tell us more about your YouTube channel. What is it called and what do you post on there?
Absolutely. It's called Kadin 73, Kadin 73, and I mainly post music and random memes and stuff like that.
Sounds like you have a good sense of humor.
Yeah, I do.
Are you good at telling jokes like a comedian?
Mm, Yeah, I've done some stand up. I'd say I'm pretty good, but I try to
Awesome.
separate the YouTube from the advocacy.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's say you could talk to those who are in power, who make decisions. What would you say to them when it comes to autistic and autism people?
I'd say take us more seriously. Concentrate on helping people with special needs and people like me get the resources we need at an affordable price instead of harming people, taking in migrants, and bombing countries.
Mm, that's fair. Yeah. What would you say to anyone who is struggling with what you're struggling with? Being heard and autism and how people see it.
Hmm, I'd, I'd say keep trying, keep pushing. And
Mm,
if people say you can't do anything, they're missing out on an amazing person.
mm,
And
mhm.
you deserve to be surrounded with kindness and to be around people who would never try to change the you that you are.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That's pretty powerful, for people to not change us. Yeah. Um, do you have other friends that are artistic that understands you like you understand them?
I'm trying to make some friends with autism, but
Mm,
there's one who I think has autism because of his personality.
mm,
Who, but I'm not sure if he does, and
yeah.
I can't really ask him. That's his personal business.
Yes, yes, I agree. Yeah, yeah. Look at you. You're respecting and having boundaries of others. That's awesome to see. Do you have any questions for me?
No questions at all. Thanks again for having me, Bernadette.
You're welcome. Is there anything else we didn't talk about that you would like to share?
No, I think you pretty much covered everything.
Okay, okay. So what are some of the projects that you're working on right now?
Hmm. Well, I got a big voting event then I'm planning for my county. That's on June 21st. I'm finalizing the speaker lineup for that now, and then I can start promoting. And but I'm mainly just concentrating on school
Mhm.
and planning these small fundraisers.
Mm, I love that. Do you like school?
Absolutely.
Why? You should, but why?
Yeah. Hmm, I just do mainly because it gives me something to do, and it's
Yeah.
better than laying around in my dorm doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Good answer. So who has inspired you to be the man that you are today?
Hmm, there's a lot of inspirations. I mainly have to go with my dad, just because he pushed me so hard and instilled some very good values in me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. So where can my listeners find you if they want to know more of the work that you're doing?
Hmm. Oh, well, as said, my socials, my Instagrams, and my YouTubes and Twitters are separate from the advocacy
Mm-hmm.
work. But if you want to learn more, you can go on Google, search for my name, KAADIN MCELWAIN, and you'll find a sports blog that I have. I write regularly on there,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll find some news stories on my various works of activism.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Well, thank you so much, Kaden, for sharing your story with us. Thank you for the work that you're doing and for changing the world with the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Brenda. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.